Hello and welcome back. I feel like I'm talking to myself because I just got back home to Taipei after nearly 3 months of being, in different places. Really excited to be home and excited to respond to your email. So, let's get to it. Dear Adam, I've played table tennis for around 2 years. My serving, forehand, and backhand are pretty good, but I always struggle with defense. Whether it's determining the spin my opponent put on the ball, receiving said spin, blocking smashes and chops, or simple reaction time, it's what usually leads to most of my lost points. I'm aware that reaction time can be just fixed with a lot of practice, but what techniques could I use to help in general defense, such as these things? Good question. Okay, what techniques could be helpful for general defense? Well, first of all, spend plenty of time identifying the specifics of your weaknesses. So, whether it is, as you mentioned, determining the spin of your opponent, usually most people have, I'd say, the greatest challenge receiving serves because that's where the most creativity and the greatest variation of spin tends to show up. Any spin you can imagine, you get to do that on a serve. So, I think volunteering to receive serves can be very helpful. Reaction time is what you needed help with. So in terms of improving your reaction time, first of all, shorter strokes. The less you have to do, the easier it is, right? And I don't know if you felt this way about other things in life, but I showed up at a train station a few weeks ago, and it was really stressful because I had a lot of luggage, I had a lot to handle, and I didn't have a ton of extra time. Next time I showed up at the train station, I got there excessively early, and it was a completely different experience. Same in table tennis. If your racket's already there a bit earlier, there's less responsibility to move it and get in position. So, keeping your racket high can be very effective. I'm a very lazy player. I have tons of bad habits. I get way behind the table to give myself more time, which is typically not a winning recipe. But if you look at players like Kanak Ja and many other players, really, they keep their racket high. Ma Long. Pick Ma Long, for example. He keeps his racket high for the blocking game and the counter game so that he doesn't need as much time to drop his racket. When he recognizes there's an opportunity to drop his racket, sure, he does that. Sun Ying-sha the same. So keeping the racket high can be one very, I'd say, effective way to make your defense that much easier to handle. Other than that, generally you want to stay as close to the table as possible, as I'm sure you already know. But if you are behind the table and you want to just practice lobbing, I'd say get more experience doing it and see what makes your opponents uncomfortable. See what wins you the points. For me, really high bouncing shots with a bit of top spin, sometimes some variation, some side spin, can really throw people off. After all, they're not used to practicing against it, and if they don't see the spin perfectly, sometimes they're a little bit out of position, and it's uncomfortable to make a shot consistently that you haven't practiced against. So, I hope that gives you some things to work on. Play as much defense as you want, volunteer yourself to be in these uncomfortable positions. Really make sure that you're looking specifically at what it is that you struggle with, and then that you do it more and more so that it becomes more comfortable. You've got a very detail-oriented eye, I can tell from your email. So, when you play, when you put in the time, you will learn because you'll be watching with this same attention to detail. So I hope that's helpful, and it sounds like you're well on your way, and hopefully this helps you continue to improve. So thank you so much for writing me, and if you want to send me an email, you can reach out to me at AdamBobrowConnect@gmail.com, and hopefully I can be helpful. So, thanks a bunch, I look forward to responding to your emails, and as always, keep on ponging. Peace.